Hi everyone, welcome to another session of G9ijaTV, the NewsScope. My name is Olatunde. Now for our first story, we have the story of the Nigerian man who actually reunites his grandparents 40 years after they separated. That is just so awesome. I mean, when I first saw this story, I was like, wow. You know, there's always conflict everywhere in the world. There are things, two different people coming together, whether in whatever kind of relationship, that will be misunderstanding. And there will also be situations that will warrant people, maybe lack of effective communication. So when I actually saw this story, I mean, this guy's grandparents have been, I think they separated 40 years ago. And after 40 years, I don't know what he did. He brought them back together. And you can see that love, even though after more than about 4 decades, they were just so, so much emotion. That love is still there, regardless of what must have, transpired. I've actually got the video here, so let's take a look at this.
Reunited grandma and grandpa after they separated for 40 years.
Rafa, go meet your baby now. Your baby now.
Wow.
See your baby now. Your car for here. Quiet.
Wow. You can see that the devil is, when people allow the enemy to come in between them. Oh, look at that. They've missed so much 40 years. They've missed so much time. All for what? Maybe some ego trip, maybe interference from family members. And all it did is it actually came to this. Even though they didn't really say exactly, what actually took place. This is just those that people should not really, allow all this misunderstanding to take deep root. There is no issue cannot be resolved. Like I said, we've not been told what happened, why, how he actually did it, but bless him. I wish them all the best for the remaining number of years that they have on this earth. Now, this other one is this other story is quite interesting. It says Nigerian man answers question about black folks not helping each other abroad. You see, what we've just seen there is loaded, severely loaded. And the reason why I actually say that is that this is something that I'm actually aware of. There are people, I mean, this I said a lot of things. And what he actually said, it's really, really, it means a lot of things. But let's watch the video. Let's hear what he has to say. Let's check this.
I know a lot of people are going to crucify me for this video, but I seriously do not care. All the time you hear black people saying, oh, why are black people abroad not cooperating? Why are they not united? Why are they not helping each other? Why should we help each other? We are all from a black continent with black hearts. Why would they help each other? Let's take a cue from the Indians. See how united they are. They know how to help each other. Look at the society. Look at it. Look at government. Look at companies. Look at businesses. Look at jobs. Look at real estate. They are everywhere. Once one person comes into the company, they know how to help each other. Let's take, for example, real estate. You that is a black person, you are struggling to get mortgage approval and all of that. Meanwhile, you just see an Indian that just arrived. Before you know it, bought homes. How do they do it? Now, you that is a permanent resident and citizen, you are finding it hard to get an approval for a card, but an international student gets approved. Now, I'm not promoting criminal behavior or fraudulent activity, but what I'm saying is that if we as a black community want to progress, we need to learn how to help each other. But no, we will not take Nigeria as a case study. Oh, I bought a home. I'm a Canadian citizen. You just came. Who are you? You know, this classism. We always want to feel that we are better than the others. Okay, you just bought a new car, and so what? Are you not paying monthly for it? Stop making other people feel like they are less than humans. Comparison. You don't see one single Indian person working alone. They're always together. They're always working. One person is showing other people how he or she made it, but our own, you will see opportunity, you get keep it, you hide it, so other people will not benefit from it. And yes, another annoying group, those black people who make it seem as if they are actually helping their fellow black people. Meanwhile, all they are simply doing is positioning themselves for government funding. And once they receive the funding, they never really help their fellow black people. All they do is mentorship program, cohort, mentorship program, cohort. The black community is the most mentored yet underfunded community. And it's not just that. Even the new person who just moved abroad that you're trying to help, before you know, the person is trying to supplant you in your own company or job or business. We are so dangerous to each other. So what are we saying? We have a lot to do. Our hearts need to be transformed, first of all. God will help us.
What this gentleman has actually said is such a very powerful statement. You know, I think he's really in Canada, that I think he did mention. That you see a lot of black people. Well, I don't know about other people from Ghana, or I can say a lot about Nigeria. It's not totally the thing that that sort of thing takes place with Nigerian, but there is a large number. Probably, I would say maybe about 60%. You know, give or take. They will see things, they will not help you. There are opportunities they won't tell you. I know some places whereby, you know, I once had a story about the guy that where the, you know, the guy was working in a place in IT, and a position came up, and this guy was contacted that there is this other guy, but he's competent, you know, if you could help him, you know. And this guy, he just refused, said no. But having said that, there are times I think you might, you know, I felt, you know, initially we all said, the guy is nuts, you know, I felt his fellow Nigerians and things. But if I think of my own personal experience where I've worked with the corporate bank, and I had another, then I was like the team lead there. I was the team lead there. And this guy, Nigerian, we were both working within the, you know, so we were in the same team. This guy created a situation that did not turn out very well. Is like that kind of person, which is opposite to what he's saying. Like I said, he has a very good point. But sometimes you don't want to take some Nigerians. I think that is where we should be discerning. That there are some that you don't want, especially if you know the sort of person they are. You have to say no. Because there's some Nigerians that you know, if you, of course, somebody who work from the same place, at least you know they are competent, which is, you know, I think nobody's asking that, just on the basis of like from the same place, so we must work together. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if you are in that position and you know that this person, you know, it can be proven that is competent, you know, goes through the deal, yeah, you give him the opportunity to maybe do an interview. And if so, I mean, that as much, because you have other people. You're not supposed to be just following your own people. But having said that, if you look at the Indians, they work with each other. And one thing I admire the Indians for as well is that I have had the opportunity of working. In fact, the job I'm actually talking about with this other Nigerian guy was given to me. I went through this. I didn't know him from Adams. And I went through the interview. He gave me the job, you know. He gave me the job. You know, it's one of the British corporate banks. I got the job. Definitely. You know, I don't know him. He's not Nigerian. He doesn't know any Nigerians or anything. So this is what I'm trying to say, that, I mean, if your own people come, fine, of course, give them a stab at it. So if they are competent, they will pass it. No problem. But you be on the basis of, you're from Nigeria, my parents are from Nigeria, then automatically no, absolutely not. In some cases, I don't blame some people avoiding. Like I said, I had the situation whereby, although I didn't give him the job, it just happens to be working the same place, and I happens to be the one in charge of the team. This guy was a nightmare. I will tell you that. It could be so there's somebody that have some of those experiences, and they actually feel somebody like that, you want to avoid them. But then at the same time, if you're an opportunity, you have the same opportunity to help others, why not? Like I said, the Indian community is the very close knit, community. They help some of the new members of the community just coming into the country. They help them to bed down. Like this gentleman said, I don't know how to do it. Maybe they have this sort of work. They get them loans and think they're settled down and everything. But all of them are great. Like every human being on the face of earth, you have the good, the bad, and the ugly. Africans, Indians, Chinese, English, Scottish, Welsh, Irish, whatever, name it, Japanese, whatever, Russians, European, whatever, where you have all represented. You are the good, the bad, and the ugly in every society. No doubt about it. It doesn't matter where you are from. It's well represented. So you can't make a sweeping statement and say, oh, some sort of people are bad. Or like say that this race of people, they are corrupt. They have corrupt people in England, in Wales, everywhere, Japan, China, whatever. So what I'm just trying to say is that there should be a closer, help that should be given, regardless of the fact. So, it's just that you just have to be on guard, ensuring that the person you are helping will not turn out and make your own life a misery. Because one of my close friends years ago, when he was in America, was helping his closest friend's younger brother. This guy's been working with the government in IT in America for years, more than 20 years. And so he decided to help. You see, this is where you have to please be careful with the help. I understand what this guy is saying, but having that, you have to be careful with your help. He helped that guy, cost him his job. He had a very good IT job with the government in the state. This guy lost that job because he was helping his best friend, younger brother. He cost him the job. So I think it's 50-50. You just have to be careful. Don't just take it. Yes, with the Indians, I'm sure they have those kind of issues as well, but they help more. So whichever way we can, we should help each other, whichever way, whether you are black, yellow, whatever. But keep your eyes open and be careful. Be very careful how you help people. So don't help people, just don't wear there are times when you use your brain. Let your brain always, overrule your emotion. It's good to help, but just help blindly. I think that's the key word. So moving swiftly on, the next story I actually have is it's about the gentleman named Joe Ibokwe, who happens to be one of the APC, or political party, the ruling party in Nigeria. And he said something which I'm really, really surprised about. And I think most people need to sort of be very, very well aware of. What he said is very heart-rending. And I salute him for saying what he's saying, because he's in the opposition party, he's in the ruling party. He's an APC chieftain. He says, as expressed concern over the recent report by the World Bank that Nigeria's currency, the Naira, is the weakest in Africa. In a post shared on his Facebook page this morning, October 18, Ibokwe wondered how this has happened when Nigeria is the most endowed country in Africa, with the most educated people, with excellent weather, fertile land, among other advantaged factors. He opined that almost everyone in Nigeria is just working for themselves, with no one working for the good of the country. So the truth of the matter is this. It reminds me of this slogan in America, do not just look at what your country can do for you, look at what you can do for your country. Nigeria is such a place that, when people do work for their country, it's a thankless task. It should be, what he said is right. But when you look at the state of the nation right now, it's really, really terrible. You know, for him to say that nobody's looking after Nigeria, that has Nigeria, interest at heart, is interesting. Like I said, he is part of the ruling. He's one of their chieftain in APC, the ruling party. What does that say? That is an indictment of the ruling class. It's an indictment, a very bad one. Meaning that, so all these people who are there, who are the political class, they are not really working for Nigeria. That is what it means, essentially. Who are the people who are making sacrifice? I have never seen people who are ready. Because when you say you want to do great things for Nigeria, if you want to do the right thing, there are people that will fight you to stand still. In one of the news I read earlier today, we're talking about Davido. That's the Afrobeat star or superstar, or should I say? Now, the dad actually set up a $2 billion thermal power station, or is a power plant, then to supply 50% of the power in Nigeria. And the man actually spoke about how somebody somewhere, was trying to prevent him from doing it. This is, we've just spoken about Nigerians and in terms of how they not helping each other abroad. You see, this is within Nigeria. What this man is going to do is that at least he should be encouraged to do more. If we don't have corruption in Nigeria, when we do that kind of thing, at least we will receive the service. But unfortunately, we don't really have that kind of spirit. What this man is saying, he said nobody is working for this great country. It's loaded, meaning that, I'm sorry to say, including the presidency, that is what it means. That means that where are the people that have the interests of the nation at heart? It's been said that both the president and the vice president are out of the country at the same time. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't. You see, there are some things that are glaring, that are showing up. It shouldn't be. There must be. One of them must never, always, ever. It is not an indicative of the tie and the interest of the nation at that. I know that the president is said to be on holiday. I get that. But the vice president, send somebody else. Does not need. The vice president Shetima should not have been outside the country. Who is working for it? So, okay, he attended summit, that sort of. Then why leave the nation open without the number one and the number two? It's not even security-wise. I mean, it leaves some kind of taste. It shows that there is something wrong. I'm not a politician. I'm not in government, but I can tell you something. It shows that there is some sort of, I don't know, should I say, why should it be? Why are those advising? That could have said, at least, come on, to leave the country at the same time. Nobody is working for this great nation. It's true. Who's working for Nigeria? For the APC chief thing to be said, Joe Igbogo, to be saying this, I'm praying that God help us. We have work to do. Faith with that work is not going to work. Where are the people that will say, okay, we have to save Nigeria? What we have is people who are just looking for their own interests, who are just after. Corruption is so endemic. Every single nook and corner of the country is riddled with corruption. It doesn't matter what you put in place. Investors that go to Nigeria, it's those who are determined to do business in Nigeria, because Nigeria is lucrative. The environment, despite the hostile environment, corrupt environment that will not make it effective. We have a lot of good, legislation, policies all over the place, but it doesn't work. We have them, but they are not right. When you say, okay, look at the infrastructure. If you're going to develop a nation, the infrastructure has to be rock solid. Electricity, power, telecommunication. Those things, you can't do showcase with them. You'll just be deceiving ourselves. We're supposed to have steel. Where we're supposed to have iron, if you put aluminum there, it's just a matter of time now. It will show. We won't be able to carry the development. We're meant to have, I'm just using this as an analogy. If, for instance, Nigeria is, let's just put it this way, like a skyscraper, and what we have done, the foundation that we have can only carry maybe about 10-story building. You know what will happen? If the development of a nation is dependent on so many factors. You can buy all the right traffic lights, everything. If people don't obey it, we're a nation that will pride ourselves not obeying the rule of law. You know, they will say, you have contacts. When everybody start exercising their contacts, you know, it will do what? It will come to haunt everybody. Nobody is working for this free country. Is working for Nigeria. People are, you know, look at River State, Ubara Wiki. What is going on? Is that working for the nation? Look at bandits all over the place. The head of security, New Ribado, it was actually quoted as saying that, I'm just quoting him. I don't know. So that I will say allegedly to cover myself that, you know, there's security personnel who are, you know, who are actually shall I say, who actually indulge in weapons to this unscrupulous element. So you imagine, even among that, we have this situation going on. Nigerians are just left like sitting dogs. I have some story coming. I think I have about 2 stories about the way Abuja is right now. How people have been, you know, it's just kidnapping is just happening rampant, you know, left, right, and center. They're just kidnapping people, killing people, as if, you know, murdering people and just selling their organs, like as if it's a cattle market. Even if we are going to kill cattle, at least those cattle will be killed in a humane way. I've had so many stories that, I mean, then, you know, and the thing about it is that, where is the urgency? Where is the security alert across the nation? I don't see any security alert. I know that the security services, you know, the army, navy, everyone, they are doing their best, but it's not enough. The genuine will. I mean, look at the nation. It's left. There's no president. It's not there. I'm sure probably you're back now, but to leave the nation like that, it's almost like, I know it is God that watches, that without security, that is God that gives security. You know, I always remember like this psalm in the Bible that Psalm 1, I think that it's Psalm 127. You know, that says, "Except God watches over the city, the watchman watches in vain." You know, it is God, yes, but what are we doing? Everything, the actualization of what we want to do, it is God that will bring it. But we have to do our part. Nobody is working for this great country, Nigeria. It's really sad. Look at the state of things. They're selling eggs. How much now? About 6,000? And now it's been that it go up as high as 10,000. There are things we're saying that is unbelievable, that we're thinking, what is going on? It is God that gives strength. It is God that gives protection. But when we ourselves are, you know, we're doing all kind of crazy things across the country, you know, everything is just escalating negatively. The banks are having issues all across the place. Phone carriers try to do some transactions. Only yes, some are working, but you know, So it shouldn't be like this. It shouldn't. There is a need for a firm, very firm approach, firm control. It has to be all hands on deck. This is not business as usual. The political class needs to be showing leadership by example now. I'm not just, when we say the political class, you have to look at that. You see, the political class is a reflection of the wider society. After all, they came from amongst us. Then the political class, they should use their power, their office, their influence positively. Let there be a turnaround. There needs to be physical discipline. They should actually be shown that. They should be taking pay cuts. They should be demonstrating, oh, fine. I get. Wow. God will help Nigeria. Nobody's working for this great country. So I'll leave that there. So the next story that I've actually got is it's about one kidnapping gang on rampage in Abuja. This is what I was talking about earlier. Let me share this page. It's really sad that we've gotten to this level. Some people are so they just power, they want position by whatever means necessary. They are not a force for unification. They are a force for destruction. To show them so that they can become Oga, they can become the boss. People who will do anything just to be in power, to occupy position just for the sake of it. Who will stop at nothing in destroying others just so that they can show them that, yes, I am making that word. Live forever, oh man, oh woman. Live forever so that we can see that you are God or you are what? For what? So it says, one chance kidnapper groups are currently threatening lives and livelihoods in the capital territory, Abuja. This post is to serve as a caution of all, for all residents, also to all security agency headquarters in the federal capital territory, an appeal for action, SOS, by the authorities in the federal capital territory. Abuja residents are losing their lives and properties to these daredevil groups. I just lost a cousin to the cold hands of this one chance gang last night after they are collected some ransom. Their modus operandi, they pick an unsuspecting person waiting to board a taxi, then along the expressway, they overpower them into submission, dispossess them of their valuables, force them to call their relatives to send them ransom, which they redeem at ATM and POS points. They operate 24/7 along the expressways, but more during the evening period between the hours of 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. They target more of women than men. In Abuja, they operate mostly along Kubwa Express and Lube Airport Expressway. Outside the city center, more on the Airport Expressway, they submit their victims to various kinds of torture and violations in order to make them submit. Some weak ones lost their lives to these tortures, and most of them die as they are heartlessly pushed out of their moving vehicles after being robbed. They operate mostly in the evening period when people close from the work during peak hour, when many are stranded on the road. Abuja do not have standard mass transit system, hence many commuters to the outskirts of the city where majority of the population reside rely on private cars to reach their destination. The activities have been heightened lately by the current situation of the country, with many commuters left stranded on the road looking for affordable means to get to their destination. Look, the whole point about it is that it has become so rampant, which was just what we were talking about just now. So many stories you will hear, and it is the women, of course, men's life matters, but it's the men that are at the receiving end the most, and that is very painful. What they did to one other month, I heard the story I think on NSPPD. I think that's about a few years ago, where he went jogging, they hit him from behind and he took him to a place. What they did to that guy, when God touched the heart of the person that was bringing food 2 days for him, the first person that saw him outside was trying to chase him away. They thought he was a madman. So imagine the condition that guy. He just decided to go and jog. That's all he wanted to do. And because of the trauma to the head, he couldn't remember. They said he should make phone number. Beat him up until when he will faint. Once he's actually revived, comes to his consciousness, they will beat him again up to. So imagine the sheer weakness. These are beasts. These are demons in human flesh. These are people, and they are walking around amongst us. We have created the situation in the country is such that we now have these psychopaths. So imagine the mix: psychopathic bandits, psychopathic, psycho. How can you put it? That's the worst of the worst. Psycho kidnappers who have no human emotional empathy for any human being, whether they are old, young, or whatever. They just simply kill them. These are people who don't think of anything in cutting a human being's head for just because they want to eat. That person, those human beings, those human beings are no longer human beings. Those ones have now become animals. Even animals have a level of respect. Even animals have empathy. I've seen some videos that will know that animals have empathy because they have emotion. But these kind of human beings, they are beyond redemption. These ones, even heaven has condemned them. They are not, So for those who are about, please just be careful. So the guy he said some security tips to residents. Always bought that. This is one of the things I say. This is what I expect the Nigerian security services, mainly should I say the police or any of the security, they should come out with guidelines that for those who are driving in high risk area, for the ownership, that the general populace to say, okay, this is when you see this guy is doing. Why are our security services not doing that? Why are they not advising the public? Why are they not coming up with initiatives that will say that? I know that they are doing their best and things, but I think there should be a campaign awareness where they actually allow people to come, where they can let people know that, okay, do this, community security. Let everybody, we are in a state of alert. Why are we not saying it? Our farmers can't go and farm. Hence, a lot of the produce they're having to be paying. These people are going around with impunity. They are telling them that they should be paying them protection money under our very nose, and they're under security services very nose. Instead of all these brave men, security, even women, as the police force as well. Security lives matters as well. A lot of lives have been wasted. So you can imagine being in government is serious business because people's lives are at risk. When the political class don't do what they're supposed to do, people lose their lives and an indictment of them. And God will require it from them. For those who deliberately know the right thing to do and don't do it, they will answer to God. So the last but not the least, this is in America. This one is quite very touching. This story is about a gentleman. How, especially in the West, you have this organ donor. And I think sometimes, yes, to a large extent, to some extent, let me say to a large extent, to some healthy extent, I believe it should be where it should be, but science should be under God because of things we have seen. It doesn't matter what man does. It's God that has given the skill for doctors and things. Yes, there is room and this thing for doctors. It should be, yes. But one thing I have noticed that, when you look at this story, it says organ donor came back to life and started trashing around the table while doctors prepared to remove it. No matter what, you see, anything that has to do with life and death, there is a limit to what men can do. There's a limit. Said an organ donor walk on the table as doctors prepare to harvest his heart. Thomas T.J. Oval, 36, was rushed to Baptist Richmond Hospital in Kentucky after overdosing on drugs. He was declared brain dead. But when nurses rolled him into the theater, so doctors test health of his heart for harvesting, he suddenly came back to life. Nicoletta Martin, a former employee of Kentucky organ donor affiliate Coda, who later reviewed the case note, said he was scratching around on the table. Speaking to NPR, she added, "That's everybody's worst nightmare, right? Being alive during surgery and knowing that someone is going to cut you open and take your body parts out. That is horrifying." You see, even this is supposed to be in the level of in a legal, something that is legalized, okay, something that is that not being done in a negative, it's not a backroom thing, but this goes to show that when people when they're carrying out for organ donors, it's not as straightforward as it is. Even the best of doctors can make that mistake. And the human body, I believe we're still trying to understand even deeper, the human body, the spirit of man. God that has made human being, as you see, the human spirit, the human body is so complex. And I think far beyond even up till now, even with all the medical science, advancement. Let me continue with this story. He said another Korea worker, Natasha Miller, described how Uber had to show sign of life as he was being moved from the intensive care unit to the operating theater. She told NPR he was moving around, kind of crashing, and we went over there. You could see he had tears coming down. He was crying visibly. This man was still inside. This man was still within. Can I put it? This man was still. He was still supposedly unconscious, but I believe the spirit could actually see had that strong will to leave, even though he was still unconscious. The disturbing shocks of those present. You see, sometimes God permits these things to happen so that when science says, "Oh, don't worry, he's dead," who say? Who has said when God has not spoken, it will not stand? Even more frighteningly, according to Miller, is that the coordinator for Kentucky organ donor affiliate callously demanded that they find another doctor to do it. Can you imagine what the other doctors hesitated? Said, "No, this guy I think is alive." Those that work for the organ were more interested in the organ. They said, "Oh, I'll find some. If you don't do it, we'll find somebody else to do it." Although they've come to, let's continue. Speaking to Emperor, she said, so the owner calls the supervisor at the time, and she was saying that he was telling her that she needed to find another doctor to do it, that we're going to do this case. She needs to find someone else. Ms. Martin told the outlet, "I have dedicated my entire life to organ donation and transplant." It's very scary to me now that these things are allowed to happen and there's not more in place to protect donors. You see, so even sometimes the best measure, the best, to prevent this kind of thing happening, even mostly in the past, things like this used to happen where they would have buried some people. They've been said, "Oh, they said they are dead, gone, done." And then, for whatever reason, when they go and maybe check where they've been buried, they found out some marks to show that people probably came back to life. Imagine somebody to actually wake up and find out that you've been buried alive. Wow. It's not a good thing to think about. He said no one at Koda has ever, so they are denying it. He said Julie Bergen, president and the chief operating officer for Network for Hope, an organization formed when Koda merged with Life Center Organ Donation Network, denied the claims. No one at Koda has ever been pressured to collect organs from any living patient. Of course, they will deny it. She told NPR, Koda does not recover organs from living patients. Koda has pressured its team members to do so. Baptist Health Richmond also insisted the safety of our patients is always our highest priority. A spokesperson added, "We work closely with our patients and their families to ensure our patients' wishes for organ donation are followed." The Kentucky Attorney General Health Services Resources administration are now investigating the alleged incident. Uber survived. Thank God that guy survived and is currently living with his sister, Donna Rora, who said he has had issues with his memory, walking and talking ever since. Revealed she is now his legal guardian. You know, thank God that the guy actually survived it. You know, it's such a very terrible thing. You know, for that sort of thing to happen. There's a lot of things happening that, you know, when it's under investigation at the moment. So I pray that, you know, the truth really does come out. You know, I mean, that's the gentleman there with the sister. You know, yes, you shouldn't be taking drugs and all. So this sort of thing, but still, you know, under the guise of, so you want to kill one person to get another, you know, to give life to someone else. If the person is genuinely dead, it's a different matter entirely. But how do you safeguard process so that the person that is still unconscious, you know? I will start with this. I had an auntie who told the story earlier in the year. She was unconscious in the hospital, and the daughter, I think she became unconscious. The doctors were telling her that, oh, they don't think she will come back. I don't know what exactly what. But she was telling me that she was hearing them. She could see them. That she found out that her spirit was in a different place. Yes, she's a Christian. She said she heard as they were talking about turning off, you know, that they were telling the daughter that they are going to turn off that at some point that needs head space. I mean, look at that. So now, you know, looking after looking after the sick, there's a lot of things now they are looking to, oh, you know, because they are being paid by bed also, I believe, you know, like now, we can see the storyline changing. The human compassion that used to be there is changing gradually. People's heart has becoming hardened. And she said, when she heard them talking about it, that she did, I mean, basically that all she knew was that, you know, she just, I don't know, I can't just explain it to her, but she just basically came back to consciousness and she opened her eyes. And then she had her daughter say, see, she's alive, she's conscious, she's conscious. And that the doctor walked away. It's good to have family, to have family. I can tell you that. She said, what if she didn't have anybody? They could easily just turn in. Who would, there are a lot of things happening down there. Who would know? Like a nurse that recently, that they found out that whenever she was born, these were God help us. So that's it, folks. Just want to say thank you very much. So same time tomorrow. Wishing you all the best for this weekend. Enjoy your weekend. And see you later in the day. Thank you. Good night and God bless.